Hi guys, in this episode of Plumbing's Thoughts On, as you can see by the title, I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts on the recently revealed news about the new Doctor, the 14th Doctor in the long-standing show of Doctor Who. And yeah, I have a decent amount of things to talk about, but I am kinda struggling to decide on how I exactly want to tackle it, because I want you to be aware of exactly where I stand right now before I explain to you how I feel about this current review. So, before we get into it, I'll just explain to you, if you're new viewers, what my relations are with Doctor Who. I became a Doctor Who fan in, I think it was like 2010 when I was 10 years old, and I instantly became a fan of it, and I loved it, and I watched it pretty much religiously, until the Jodie era happened. And yeah, it's safe to say that I hate the Jodie era and I hate the 13th Doctor. But the thing is, I was hoping that I was gonna like it. I was very excited even for the first female Doctor, because at the time when the reveal happened and it turned out it was gonna be a female Doctor, it was around the time when I actually realized that I was trans. And I thought it was like male to female at the time. Now I've realized that I'm more of a non-binary person with still very heavy leanings towards female, but not really a male to female necessarily. And back then I was excited about one of my favorite characters, debatably my favorite character in fiction, and me going on a similar journey of becoming female. So I was really excited about it. I was hyped to see how cool it is going to be and how exciting it was going to be. And yet, it was so boring, and it just got worse with the stupid retcons in Series 11. Series 12. Series 13 was marginally better, and it at least gave me one or two episodes that I actually didn't want to kill myself as I was watching. So, it was overall a decent season. I mean, by Chibnall standards, it was a decent season. But I was certainly excited when it was revealed that RTD was going to be coming back for the show. The thing is, though, after the stupid Timeless Child retcon, which in my opinion ruins Doctor Who, or at least it ruins it for me, because of the things that I like about Doctor Who, like the Doctor being essentially just an average Time Lord by Time Lord standards, and he became special through his own actions. But now, instead of that, we have them being a chosen one, which is just annoying, and it just makes the character so much more boring. So after this shitty reveal, I've thought about it, and I don't even know whether I give a shit about Doctor Who anymore. I don't know if I'll be interested in it enough to actually care whether it's good or bad. Because, like I said, Series 13 was actually marginally better. But I still didn't find myself as into it as I used to be into the show before. Could be because of the writing, which is why I'm hopeful, or at least hoping that RTD is going to bring me back through his good writing and stuff. But I feel like there's a possibility that my connection with the show might have been destroyed at this point. And the reason why I'm explaining you all of this is so you know why I'm unsure at best and don't like the choice for the 14th Doctor at worst. So yeah, if you guys haven't realized already, the 14th Doctor has been revealed as, I think his name is pronounced Ncuti Gatwa or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen people say that that's how it's pronounced, so that's what I'm gonna go with. And like I said, at best, I'm just not sure how I feel about it. There's a precedent for me being less than excited about the reveals of the new Doctors, because for me, actually, the first time I experienced the reveal about the new Doctor was with Peter Capaldi. Because that was the first time where I was actually watching the show concurrently as it was airing. Before that, I only watched it whenever it was running on TV in my country. Afterwards, I started watching it online. But when with Peter Capaldi, I was actually not big fan of the choice for him as the Doctor, because for me at the time, my opinion of what the Doctor should be was like a youngster who was running around the TARDIS all the time, or at least at best middle-aged, and that was just what my vision for the Doctor was, and I couldn't see Peter Capaldi, an old man, or at least much older guy than the other guys in New Who, running around the TARDIS. I just couldn't imagine that. But the thing is, once I saw him as the Doctor, I actually enjoyed him quite a lot. I really actually did. And I want to commend the first episode of Series 8 for actually taking time to pull people in, people like me, who were unsure about the Doctor being older, and that is essentially what the episode is about, taking a deep breath and giving this new Doctor a chance, even though he's unusual compared to modern Who standards. So I actually grew to love him the most, to the point where I think that the 12th version of the character, aka the 12th Doctor, I love that character version of the Doctor the most. I would still say that my favorite Doctor is 11, because my favorite era of the show is Series 5 to Series 7. Mainly the Amy, Rory, and the 11th Doctor part. So the 11th Doctor is still my favorite Doctor, but my favorite character interpretation of the Doctor is probably the 12th Doctor, because he was just so goddamn good. So the point I'm trying to make is, at first I wasn't a big fan of him, but I grew to love him a lot. And kind of the opposite happened with Jodie. At first, while I wasn't sold on it, just like I wasn't for Capaldi, I was actually more open to her being the Doctor than I was for Capaldi. And yet she was terrible. She's straight up the worst Doctor. I'm not gonna say that Jodie is a bad actress, because I don't think she is. And I've seen, I've looked onto some stuff that she has done on YouTube. I've searched clips of her, and there's this one show, I don't know what it was, but I can describe you a scene from that show, in which she is doing this finger puppeting scene or whatever, where she's showing how quirky she is. And that felt very much Doctor-like. And usually, to find out what an actor is going to have their Doctor be like, you can look at some stuff that they've done before and kind of get a gist of what they are going to do. Because with the 9th Doctor, you can watch, I think it's a movie or something, where Christopher Eccleston plays this guy who turns out, or realizes that he's the modern incarnation of Jesus Christ. And the way that character, he speaks as that character in that movie or TV series or whatever it is, sounds very much like how he plays the 9th Doctor. Similarly, for the 10th Doctor, you have Tennant in Casanova. That is essentially who the 10th Doctor ends up being. For the 11th Doctor, we don't really have anything like that, because Matt Smith was pretty young at the time, and Doctor Who was pretty much his breakout role. And with Peter Capaldi, he kind of plays a toned-down version of, I think the name of the character is Malcolm Tucker from The Thick of It. He essentially plays that, pretty much. So you can get a gist of what their characters are gonna be like. With Jodie, I mean, I don't know. From the clips I've watched of her on YouTube, she's not bad, but the only clips that I've seen of her where she actually feels Doctor-like is from that thing where I said about the finger puppet thing. I don't know what series that is, but I feel like if you search that up on YouTube, you're gonna find it. And again, I'm talking about all of this because I'm just not sure whether Ncuti Gatwa is the right choice for the Doctor. I have a slight issue with the fact that they went for a black guy instead of another woman, be it black or white. They straight up jumped to the Black Doctor because that kind of makes it feel a little bit like they're... And I hope this doesn't come off as wrong, but it does feel like they're just kind of aiming for the diversity kind of stuff, instead of trying to still sell us completely on the female doctor stuff, because Jodie definitely didn't do good enough of a job together with the writing and everything. That incarnation was, in my opinion, an overall massive failure. They instead went for the black guy so they can still have, like, I guess those kind of headlines of, oh, he is the first black male doctor, because we already have the first black female doctor in the form of Jo Martin, who I actually would have been very happy if they made her the 14th Doctor. So it's not about race that bothers me, it's just that the way they're making it seem, the way they're doing it makes it seem like it is kind of aiming for the diversity stuff. And at the very least, like, I don't care who you cast, just don't make it trigger my brain, you know? Don't make it trigger me, I guess. I don't know. But it just kind of comes off like that, because you have 13 incarnations of the Doctor be white, and then you have the first female Doctor, and then the first black Doctor. It just kind of really screams, we're doing this for diversity, which I guess is not necessarily a bad choice, or a bad reason, but I don't know, it kind of feels like this is not necessarily the right place to push that, you know? Because this is an entertainment show. It's fine to pick the diverse characters. That is fine. It's just that pick them because they're good for the role, or they're the best for the role, you know? And I know this sounds a lot like those racist arguments that people make, but I'm trying to be as... I don't know how to describe. I'm trying to explain myself as much as I can so I'm not put with those people, because I don't feel like that. Because at the end of the day, I don't really care about it. I just care about enjoying him as the Doctor. And right now, I don't expect to. So yeah, another thing, which I guess is the bigger thing out of the superficial things that bothers me about this choice for the Doctor, and why I think it might be a wrong choice for the actor, is that the way he acts, the actor, Ncuti Gatwa, I don't know whether he is LGBT or not. I've seen people say that he might be. He hasn't disclosed it in any way, shape, or form. But he does play a gay character on a show on Netflix called Sex Education, which I've looked at clips on YouTube, as I assume most of you have. And so I really hope he doesn't play the Doctor like that. Because not only is that kind of annoying to me, the way he stereotypically plays kind of like a stereotypical gay character. And again, I haven't seen the show, so maybe he's not stereotypical. That's how it comes off. Or should I say stereotypically flamboyant. But I think it just wouldn't make any sense for the Doctor to be flamboyant like that. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because some people might say, oh, it's a new incarnation. They can be whatever they want it to be. No, I wouldn't say so. Because as much as every incarnation is its own thing, and it changes from Doctor to Doctor, there is still the core characteristics of the character, which are pretty consistent throughout the show. Like, the Doctor being socially inept by human standards. The Doctor being kind of a dick to people a lot of the time. And being kind of egotistical, or having a big ego and feeling of superiority. Those are things consistent with the character throughout all the incarnations. It's just that the level at which they are those things are kind of different. There is no incarnation of the Doctor which is really flamboyant like that. And I really hope they don't make it like that. And I'm pretty worried about it, because even outside of the character that this actor plays on Sex Education, he does seem to be very flamboyant like that. Which, again, in of itself is completely fine. I don't care. I'm trans, for crying out loud. I'm the last person who will complain about that. I'm just worried about what they're going to do with the character at the time where my interest and my willingness to overlook annoyances is at the bottom. So yeah, plus I really hope because this guy has played a gay character on Sex Education, they do not make the Doctor gay like that. And again, I want to explain myself because that might, taken out of context, might sound dumb, but the Doctor is a pan-romantic, asexual character. It wouldn't make sense for them to be so flamboyantly gay, specifically, because the Doctor can love anybody, has kissed anybody, and doesn't really show much of a sexuality, you know? I've always seen the Doctor as an asexual character, even with somebody like River, since asexual people, which I actually am, for those of you who don't know, which is mostly because I don't think I've really mentioned it, it doesn't mean that you don't ever have sex, it just means that you don't have an urge to. So I really hope they don't go that route of making the Doctor like stereotypically flamboyant or anything like that. And that's the thing that worries me about this. I haven't seen, from the footage that I've looked of him playing Rose, anything which even remotely resembles what I expect the Doctor to act like. Even with his own quirks, like Ncuti Gatwa's quirks, which every actor adds to the character, I haven't really seen anything like that from him. And I also just want to mention, since we are still kind of on the topic of the series Sex Education, there's an actor in that show called Asa Butterfield, I think his name is. He was in a really cool movie called Ender's Game. I actually was kind of shocked that that was him, because he's goddamn grown so much. And he's older than me, only by I think like 3 years or something. But he, in my eyes, could be a really cool Doctor. So I really hope at some point they actually have him play that character, because I think he's British. Let me confirm just so I can be sure. Asa Butterfield. Yeah, he's British. So he can definitely play the Doctor. And I'm not saying that he can play the Doctor because he's white, because that's not my point there. My point is that he fits, at least based on my experience from seeing him in Ender's Game. I really liked his character in Ender's Game, and I would like that kind of Doctor for him to play, or any kind of Doctor. Because I just feel like he has the energy that the Doctor needs. Not the skin color, the energy. And there are also black actors who have that energy, who I wouldn't mind playing the Doctor. I think there's this one black guy who is, I think, kind of nerdy. I don't know his name. But I've seen him being mentioned as a possibility for somebody who could play the Doctor. I think he might be an American, though. I'm not sure. But he definitely gives off major Doctor energy, and I wouldn't mind him playing the Doctor. It's just that I don't see Ncuti Gatwa playing the Doctor. I just can't really see it. Based on the work of his that I've seen, based on his behavior IRL, it just doesn't really seem like the right choice. Even more so than Jodie, I would say. But again, everything could change once I see it. I'm still, no matter what I say in this review, I'm still gonna wait and see what it's going to be. I'm gonna give it a shot for the first episode. And maybe, even if I don't really like the incarnation, which, if I end up liking it a little bit, I'm gonna like it overall for sure. Especially with RTD being at the helm. Maybe potentially at least the writing could keep me engaged, but we'll see. But like I said, I just don't know whether I even give a shit about the show anymore, and whether I would ever get attached to the show the way I was before the Chibnall era. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, ultimately it's just that I don't really get the vibe of the Doctor from this guy. And yeah, I can kinda only mention actors who happen to be white, who I feel like they have the vibe that the Doctor needs. I can mention even some women that fit the vibe of what the Doctor should be like Phoebe Waller-Page, I think her name is. She gives off massive Doctor energy. I would really be happy with her playing the Doctor. But for males, I think Tom Ellis, who was the main character in Lucifer, gives off major Doctor energy. Hell, I would have even been more interested in like Lydia West playing the Doctor than this guy. Because I don't know, I don't know, I just don't like this guy in particular. That's kind of my issue. I've even kind of gotten into the possibility of the 14th Doctor being, I think her name is like Tania Miller or something. I think she played one of the Time Lords. I think the name was the General, who regenerated from this old male guy to a younger black woman. That's who she is. I would have been actually pretty interested to see that. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to let you know and make you understand that it's not a sexuality or a skin color that bothers me about the potentiality of this guy being the Doctor. It's just that what exactly they're gonna go for with his interpretation of the character and his performance, whether I'm gonna like it or not. Hopefully I will, because even under Chibnall, Joe Martin was actually pretty good and felt like the continuation of the same character. It's just that right now I really can't see it with this guy. In every way, from behavior to the way he speaks, to the way he looks. Like, I just don't see him as the Doctor. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't necessarily see Capaldi as the Doctor either at first, so who knows? Maybe I'm gonna end up enjoying it, but that's kind of how I feel about it right now. But yeah, what did you guys think about the review for the 14th Doctor? Comment your thoughts down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently one patron on Patreon, Deadpool. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me, you have continued to support me for such a long time. I hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the link in the description of my Twitter, where you can follow me over there, and to my Wattpad, where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories, or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Coffee account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!